Hi guys, welcome back to another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob, and today I shall be attempting to take this Corgi Batmobile from shabby to shiny. This one, well, first of all, big thanks to Cann. I don't know how long ago now, but this was part of an unboxing. What I'll actually do is I shall link the unboxing video down in the description below. But yeah, thanks to Cann again for providing us with this Batmobile for us to restore today. But also a big second thanks to Bob Willis, who, you know, he's the Corgi master. And having watched the unboxing, he emailed me and said, Rob, I've got a few parts, but I've also got many videos for you to reference, for you to obviously restore this and put it back together. And indeed, I certainly needed Bob's help there. So yeah, thanks Bob. What I'll do is I'll link Bob's channel down in the description below as well. Please check him out. But yeah, this is the Corgi car. It's a large casting, and I remember as a child, I don't know whether I had it or perhaps a friend had it, but I remember playing with one of these Corgi Batmobiles. And so this is, I don't know, 30 years ago, probably in the late 80s, and yeah, certainly that memory from 30 years ago lives with me, and partly probably the reason why I'm doing these restorations today. But yeah, not in terrible condition. We are missing a few parts. So we got the I'd say we're missing a few things here. Bob has supplied us with a few bits, and we've been supplies for the remainder. You can see just in the kind of cannons there, we have one of the original, would you believe, yellow missiles. Now I'm sure my one, when I was a kid, as I drove it, the flames would kind of flicker. Perhaps that's a different era of this casting. But yeah, here's a big bag of stuffs. The amount of bits and pieces and parts to put this back together is amazing. I would say this is the most difficult casting that I've done. Bearing in mind I've done over 300 castings, but yeah, this is certainly the most difficult. This is what Bob has kindly sent us in the post. Now I've had this for a little while, like I say, a couple of months, and I think I just needed the courage really to take on the restoration. And yeah, the last few nights have been some very late nights, and even today it is currently 1:23 in the morning. My wife and children have been asleep for many hours, and I'm about to drop off myself, but I'm here for you guys. Get this video complete. But yeah, here's a list of some of the other bits and pieces that I needed to fully restore this Batmobile today, and it certainly adds up. I think I spent around an extra £20, something like that, with postage, with like I say, model-supplies.co.uk. But yeah, these are all the bits and pieces that I needed. Folded over there were some other bits I had for another casting a few months ago. Can't actually remember which one it was now. But yeah, here's the bits that we've bought. So we've got the Batman there, of course. Unfortunately, both Batman and Robin were long gone on this casting. Robin there. And bearing in mind, I could see that there was still an original yellow one stuffed in the cannon. Of course, I went for yellow. Got the steering wheel there. And alright, yeah, so this piece as well that goes on the top. But whilst I was there, I could get one of these kind of how-to guides. So I thought, yeah, let's grab it. So this is a Steve Flowers one. I won't show kind of all the details. You know, I'll keep that kind of for the company that provides it. There you go, Steve Flowers. I didn't really use it, to be honest. It was very wordy, and certainly, yeah, Bob's video was valuable for me to. Bob's video, I think I'd be here for another week. But as you can see here now, I have drilled out all 6 rivets, and they're large rivets, these are. And yeah, the wheels and axles there coming free. But isn't that fabulous? The Batman on the base of that casting. They do not make them like that anymore. Nice little, is that called a grass? Is it a grass dart? I remember they seemed to be so very common when I was a child. I don't even know whether I've seen really many of those recently. I remember my dog, probably back in the early 90s, sniffing one up, and it got stuck in her nose, and she had to kind of keep sniffing it to pass it through her throat. Anyway, just another little memory from that time there. But yeah, so the flames here, very basic. I'd have liked to have painted this up, but of course this is it's a restoration attempt, but there is one, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it a major change later on, but there's certainly one change that I do, and there's a couple of minor little changes with a particular colour that I do, but what I haven't noticed here, that on one of those suspension kind of tabs built into that interior is actually broken and does come apart later on, and it just, taken a little bit of super glue to put it back together. I'd say the most difficult part about putting this thing back together was that kind of piece on the front there where the spring went and where it needed to be positioned whilst you put the base back on in order for it to kind of do its business. It was many attempts, probably, I don't know, 10 attempts for me to take on and off that base, but we got there in the end. So there you go, that's the original missile. Fortunately, we managed to grab it because quite nice. Now, these things, I think I've lost one already. Within the first go, it flew across the room, and it's, of course, to no surprise that these would all be missing, years down the line. I mean, if my children was to play with this, these would be gone within 30 seconds. No doubt, no doubt. So nice little mechanism here. Just kind of it flicks, just kind of flicks the little thin, very super thin metal tab there, which then kind of almost like flicks the missile out. Simple as that. But this kind of section here had some rollover, almost rivets keeping that on. So I just took them off so I could take this piece out. And there you are. Like I say, yeah, just little thin pieces of metal there. The original window section there, of course, broken in half, but is kind of like a blue tint. But the one we have today is just a clear. And then we have the kind of the cannons here. The one that Bob supplied is in better condition, so we'll be using Bob's one today. He gets a little extra chrome paint, but otherwise it is. So here's the original aerial. We have a replacement for that, and here's the mechanism here. That's one of the minor changes. I polish that up later rather than the gold. But yeah, let's get these two pieces here into the foot-long hot dog jar, covered in boiling water, and then in comes a tablespoon of caustic soda. Actually 2 tablespoons. You know, we'll treat ourselves. Let's treat ourselves. There you go. Eventually, you know, just keeping you holding on in there. And then, why not clean the spoon whilst we're there, and have a little look to see if we can see some bit of action in the jar, nice and up close. See the caustic soda doing its business there. But anyway, leaving that to one side, let it do its thing, and we'll clean up the interior. I won't pop these in, I'll just clean those lightly shortly, rather than to dig them out of that water. You can see here that not just the base is in here, we've got all these other metal parts. I kind of, once the caustic solution had cooled off somewhat, I popped these in just to give them a clean up more than anything, and then I polish them up afterwards. The base turned out pretty good. We don't have 100% here today, unfortunately, but I'd say with the base we've got a good 98.4568%. You can read the Made in Great Britain and Batman down on the below. The kind of the main body here on the underside, strangely enough, a lot of paint remains. I don't even know whether we're into the 90s with this. So what I'm going to do is kind of go over it, try and flick off as much as I can, and then just put a bit of a key on what is remaining, and then kind of off camera I pop this main body in for a second bath, but it does polish up well. So we're now ready for a bit of primer. There we are, after a second dunk, and of course a buff up. I've mentioned it a few times, but I'm really getting low on this last can of primer. I'm not able to get hold of this from overseas, where the pricing is reasonable. In the UK, it appears that there's a seller on eBay asking £20 a can. It's disgusting. You know, normally I pay about £5 or £6, but I don't know. I'm either having to come up with a different solution or bite the bullet, but that will sting. The angle of where my camera is just kind of catching the forceps there. You can just about see in the top left and top right the magnets that that are on clips. These are great. I'd recommend a set of those, especially with these metal forceps. You know, you pop them up there, keep them out of the way, keep them safe and secure. The last thing you want to do is, once you've painted your casting with fresh paint, and then, you know, put it down and drop it or something like that. But yeah, the base there, look at that. That's beautiful. But she's now dry. We're going to use an enamel paint on this one, Gloss 21. Of course, black. You can see a bit more detail in there. The National Periodical, I think it was. But yeah, normally I, you know, use acrylic, and then I kind of layer up a lot of the clear coat. But I just felt that where this is an older casting, and I think the finish of enamel would be closer and true to the original. So there's no additional clear coat on this today. Just this enamel, as it is shot from my airbrush. I think it was a 50-50 ratio with Humbrol enamel thinners. But I went with 2 coats on both parts. And then we find ourselves 24 hours later. I've got a few extra parts out of camera, but yeah, I'm really happy with the finish. Of course, had I used my acrylics and the clear coat, I could have got this a bit more deeper of a shine, but I just feel this is yeah, kind of more true to the original. So many parts here, and there's still about another 6 parts out of shot. And these are the original wheels. Now, they are in rough shape, and I went through my thousands of other castings, and the closest I can find are these, and these are slightly bigger. And this is what I mentioned towards the beginning of the video. I was hoping that you know, you guys wouldn't mind. It's slightly bigger, but it does fit, and I think fit better actually. But anyway, that's what she looked like, and this is the result. Like I say, the most difficult casting I think I've done. But these wheels, you can just about see. It is a beautiful runner, beautiful sizing, and I'm really happy with it. But a massive thanks to both Mark Cann for the unboxing and providing us with this one again, and of course big thanks to Bob Willis. Without Bob, this casting would just not have gone back together again. So yeah, big thanks to those guys. But yeah, one of my favourite castings, one that I've been wanting to do but been putting off, knowing that it's going to be difficult, but glad that it's now done, and I can look at it in my little collection and think, yeah, I put that together, I'm happy. But anyway, big thanks to my patrons. It's almost 2 AM. I am so tired, and I'm going to go to bed. Hopefully you have a good day, and I'll see you soon.